It's great to be here this morning. I'm here today with Health Infrastructure Minister, Minister Carey, and also local member Jeff Baker. We're here today to talk about a very important facility that's just opening. It's an indication about our commitment to make sure that all West Australians have access to the healthcare that they need, no matter who they are, no matter where they come from. Today at this facility we have a special needs dental facility, a special needs dental clinic opening. This building has been purposely designed so that it can meet the needs of West Australians who have special needs. We'll soon be, you'll have the opportunity to meet Ruth and her mother Joan. Joan was one of the consumer advocates who was involved in having input into the specific design of this building. We want to thank her for the work that she's done. As I said, our government's focused on making sure that people have access to the healthcare that they need. That means investment in infrastructure, it means investment in more staff and services, but it also means making sure we adapt our services so that they meet the needs of our diverse community. And that's what this facility does. The service provided here, whilst it's not new, it is now being able to be delivered in this purpose-designed building, which means the way that service is delivered will be enhanced and improved for the consumers who use it. Every element of this building was designed to make sure that it meets the needs of West Australians with special needs. So from things like being able to ensure that the lighting is reduced and that there's sound deadening properties. There's also, as part of it, a single-storey building so that it's fully accessible, and the surgeries, the surgical units are slightly bigger so that they've got room for people who have mobility issues and need to use wheelchairs. You'll also see we've got 2 accessible covered car bays, which means for people who are unable or reluctant to leave their cars, they're still able to receive treatment whilst they come here. So today is a really exciting day. We're very excited to be here for the opening of this new facility, which means that West Australians with special needs will be able to get access to the dental services they need in this specially designed, purpose-built building. I'll now hand over to Health Infrastructure Minister, the Honourable John Carey.
Thank you, Meredith. As you know, we are undertaking an ambitious health infrastructure program of $3.7 billion over the next 4 years. And I've been on the record. We're doing big new projects like the Women's and Babies Hospital, but we also do smaller projects, and they're just as important. And this is a great demonstration of this, a $6.1 million investment to deliver a special needs dental surgery for those people who may have developmental, intellectual or physical disabilities. And when you look at it, it's a beautiful building that has been designed with special needs in mind. And what I particularly like is the fact that there's even consideration that people can actually be assessed in their car rather than actually going into the surgery. So what this does demonstrate is that our government is committed to improving access to healthcare for all West Australians. Yes, we're doing big projects, but you come across projects like this that are special, that are really catering for people with special needs, and that you know that it will deliver. The advice is that each year over 1,000 West Australians will use this service, and again, a beautiful centre that really is ensuring that all West Australians have access to healthcare. I will now hand over to Gino, who's the Director of Dental Services, who will say a few words and take any questions.
Thank you, Minister, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you, Ministers Hammett and Carey, for being here today to open this clinic, the first purposely built special needs clinic in WA. It was built with the special needs patient front and centre in mind. Our vision was to create a building that actually blended in with this natural environment. And we also had some wonderful input from all of our special needs stakeholders. Built around the covered parking bays that we have here, and the covered walkway was built because patients wanted to be able to move from their car into the clinic in all weather elements. Some of them with mobility issues could get soaked in the rain or in the heat. It also serves, as the ministers have said, as a point of consultation for patients. You don't want to come out of the car, and that's fair enough, but we can actually perform a consultation with the carer and the patient and progress their treatment from there. You can see this outdoor space. It's like a waiting room. You can sit, you can relax, you can de-stress. And patients can also be assessed in this outdoor area as well, or just wait here until it's time to go into the clinic. The clinic itself has been again designed not to appear too clinical as a traditional dental surgery. You'll notice softer lighting, you'll notice the mixed use of materials, sound dampening elements within the ceilings and the walls. It has a low sensory area, it has large corridors that enable patients in large wheelchairs to freely move about and gain access to the surgeries. The surgeries themselves are large, enabling patients, carers, support people to be with our patients and support them in their care. It allows for large wheelchairs to enter the surgeries and park next to the dental chair. Sometimes we can actually perform that in terms of not being able to consent, for example. So if you fall into that category, that's the eligibility, and it's mostly for those 17 plus.
Are there any stories or anecdotes you can share of patients in the past who haven't been able to receive care that they will be able to have this building?
This building builds on what we've had in the past. So our previous special needs clinic wasn't purpose-built, and so this allows us to assess our patients in a more comfortable environment that allows them to have that care, and if need be, we refer them to that care to another sector, to the community services.
For the staff, that particular
Our staff in our services are general dentists with an interest in special needs, so yes, that's no issue.
Have there been concerns about some special needs patients, particularly if they're scared or unable to be accommodated previously and find the dentist a traumatising experience, of potentially delayed treatment and that causing more problems?
Not in that way. No, we will assess those patients in manners in which I've suggested, and then refer those patients away from this into our hospital if they need that care.
What's the price point for a standard appointment?
For services for
Questions for Minister Carey?
How much was this in need? Obviously, going to the dentist can be a scary enough experience, for people who don't have extra needs. How much was this called for our community?
Yeah, look, you're absolutely right. I think for anyone, going to the dentist can be a scary experience, and so people with special needs and disabilities, it could be one step even further. So to create this beautifully designed building that carefully considers people's needs who have developmental or physical disabilities really does show that's great. I think this is a beautifully designed building that has gone out of its way to think about the end user, which is of course people with physical or intellectual disabilities, and so it really does demonstrate that it's about giving access to all West Australians to make sure that they get the appropriate health care.
You said 6.1 for building the facility. We've just heard that the service is free. Is that funded by the state government, and do you have an estimate of?
I'd have to so the operations falls under the health system. We'd be able to come back to you. I'm pleased to report that when the contract was signed, it stuck to $6.1 million and was delivered on time.
Do you know if there's a wait list for the service?
I'd have to get back to you on that, I'm sorry. But I can follow it.
One of the big hurdles for people with disability accessing dental services is the cost. In terms of addressing that issue, how much will this service do in terms of addressing that issue?
Well, look, as we've heard, it is a free service, but ultimately it's about creating a dedicated, well-designed building that actually caters to those people's needs. This is a first for WA. As we've heard, it previously operated a service that wasn't in a building fit for purpose. Everything has been considered about the end user, and that is a person with physical or intellectual disabilities. And I love the fact for example, that someone doesn't even have to leave their car, that they can actually be assessed in the undercover area. So it's those sorts of features that actually demonstrates that this has been an incredibly thoughtful design that is about ensuring that people with developmental or physical disabilities aren't disadvantaged in accessing dental care.
Obviously, we're at the opening today, but when will they start taking patients?
It's already underway.
How many staff are there at this facility?
So the advice is that there is 2 dentists operating, and they anticipate to see over 1,000 patients each year.
Do people with who require extra needs often ignore their dental health because a trip to the dentist can be so traumatising?
So can I say this respectfully, I am not an expert on that, and I think for a politician to answer that, I think it would be better go back to Gino, if that's all right. Yeah.
So we hope not. We hope that our patients come to us knowing that they have the confidence that we have the facility and the expertise to provide them care.
Yeah, sorry, I meant more so in the past before this sort of service was available. Is that something that would happen?
We have a proud history of dental health services providing care to our special needs patients going back to the old Perth Dental Hospital and since. So, as I said, we would hope that our history shows that patients have confidence in our service and would like to come.
How important is dental health though for obviously everyone, but also patients with special needs? Any dental problems can have knock-on ramifications for physical health.
That's a very good question and very correct, yes. I think it's important for all of us in respect to our general health, dental health industry, in respect to preventing, obviously, things like dental decay and gum disease, but beyond that, the associations with other general health issues, including heart issues, diabetes and others, has associations, so it's important. And doubly so for special needs patients because they need an extra assistance with day-to-day care. So part of what we do here is teach those carers how to look after of their children if they are the parents or of those whom they care for.
Brushing teeth and the like can be harder.
Indeed, brushing teeth is harder, and there are alternative types of toothbrushes and other aids that are available for those with special needs to assist them in their day-to-day care.
Do you know if there's a wait list for the service?
So patients who need urgent care are triaged and seen according to that triage. New patients who just register for a checkup are seen within a few short weeks.
2 dentists, but how many staff will work?
Staff, yes, there's about 4 dental nurses because they need extra assistance with special needs patients at reception and also external.
We can move on to issues of the day with.
And then if anyone, yeah, okay.
You mentioned that this project stayed within budget, but you
Yeah.
have said that there have been dramatic cost escalations in other major health infrastructure projects. The $500 million fund announced earlier this year, how quickly will that be used up? At the same time, is there concern that other states are sort of eyeing that off as an excuse to attack WA's
Well,
GST?
look, first, can I say about this about projects? And it was interesting, yesterday I did a launch of Mosman Lane, which is a major construction development. We're just talking about cost escalations. It is not, it's not from the norm in the current construction market that you can develop costings and or a business case for any project, whether in the hospital sector or in private construction, and then only a few months later there's been a significant price escalation, or when you go and test it formally through a tender process, the price has increased. This is the reality we face. In this case, a smaller project, so it is, I never like to say anything is easier to do, but where you are doing more major redevelopment projects, or you're integrating an existing service into a hospital, then that is more expensive. We are going to be making determinations of the drawdown of that fund through the mid-year and budget process. I'm not going to second guess, but what we have said is that 2 priority projects that will be drawn down from that fund is the Peel Health Campus and Royal Perth Hospital. And as I've also stated on the record, since we've created the health infrastructure portfolio, there's been a major reconfiguration of how we deliver challenging health projects and major health projects, and that is now through the Office of Major Projects. They are re-looking at projects, are reviewing what is the best way to deliver, and so those reviews will also inform drawdowns from that $500 million fund. In terms of the eastern states and GST, obviously welcome the Treasurer's comments, but ultimately we don't trust the other states, and so we're not letting our guard down. We know that we have to fight and defend West Australia's position. We're creating a $500 million fund. That's because, unlike other states, we manage our finances well.
The opposition says it could be a $717 million fund if you scrap the Burswood project.
Well, I'll say this. Never have I seen an opposition spend the same amount of money on so many different projects. So that's what they're doing. The reality is that our expenditure on our health system dwarfs anything on the Burswood Entertainment Precinct. So this idea that the focus is Burswood Entertainment Precinct is wrong. $500 million announced yesterday. It's now $3.7 billion on health infrastructure. So the money that we're investing in health dwarfs the Burswood Entertainment Precinct.
Some have likened Basil Zemplis' enthusiasm about the racetrack to Bob Caddy's fascination with crocodiles.
Okay, questions I didn't expect to get today. Look, can I actually say about that is, I just think Basil Zemplis is a gross hypocrite. I mean, this is the guy who only recently had said we should bid for the Commonwealth Games. That would have cost $1 billion. He said we should fund the River Foreshore plan while he was Lord Mayor. Another $1 billion. I mean, he doesn't know which way he's going. And that's what happens when you don't actually have any policy or any values. So he's very happy for Western Australian taxpayers to fork out on billion-dollar projects that no one is asking for, and yet he's fixated on that. There's no doubt he's fixated on it, but he's a hypocrite in the process.
The annual report on state finances dropping today, and we expect more blowouts on health infrastructure.
What I can say is you have to wait for the Deputy Premier to go through that detail.
One of the teenagers who attacked a police officer outside Optus was just handed his sentence yesterday. It was a 9-month suspended sentence and community order. Do you think that's too lenient for that kind of behaviour?
Well, look, I've not been briefed on that, but I do think the community expects and anticipates that when people break the law, that there are serious consequences for that. So, again, I've not been briefed on that decision, but overall West Australians expect that when people undertake violent crime, that they receive the appropriate penalty.
And do you think West Australians expect more support for police officers in general?
Well, look, overall, I mean, we have an unprecedented number of police on the beat, and of course we've done a number of reforms to support police every day, of course, in terms of protections and so forth. So I think I want to assure West Australians that we do back our police and that more than ever before there are more police on the beat.
Is the health infrastructure program and also the ongoing housing needs, both public and private, resulting in a fight for tradies and construction workers?
Look, the advice that I'm actually getting, and it's a good question, I understand the question, is that we are actually starting to see some capacity in the system. So from what I'm getting, and this is from, you know, the face-to-face meetings, the stakeholder feedback, is that more builders and developers are interested in both our housing construction program and also in our health construction program. So yes, regions in particular still can be tough, and I think I've advised there before, the more regional and remote projects are far more difficult to get a tender. But the advice I'm starting to get now is that there is a lot more early interest from a broader number of builders in relation to our health construction program. And of course, I welcome that, because what that means is competition is good in terms of value for WA taxpayers.
Does it frustrate you, and all your performance is based on things like how many houses you can build and health infrastructure? Does it frustrate you when tradies get soaked up by big projects like Burswood or even Metronet?
No, and I have to say this, that Metronet has been an incredible project for Western Australia. It's opened up huge opportunities and made You don't have a lot of stories today, do you? It's just, I can feel from the questions, it's just like, can we just throw any question at John today? Anyway, I'll put this in my little diary. So no, look, I believe in Metronet, but let's be very clear. Metronet has been a transformational project for Perth. Speak to anyone in Ellenbrook and ask them, was this a great investment? They will tell you, absolutely. So I reject that. We need public transport infrastructure. We need housing infrastructure, and of course we need health infrastructure. It's about balancing that, but I think the government has made clear Metronet's coming to an end, but we are very focused through announcements like yesterday on delivery of health infrastructure.
Oh, just quickly, sorry, one more. Just on any question, Raw Show tomorrow, are you going to be heading along?
Actually, I love going to the Royal Show. I don't actually have a life because of these portfolios, so I haven't gone in a very long time, but I would like, I mean, look, everyone loves the Royal Show. I think it's got better, and I know that so many families go there, so I hope West Australians, despite the grand final, which I know is on, is actually going, people are going to turn out in record numbers.
What's your favourite ride or show day?
It's Birdle. What is it? Birdle Beetle?
Beetle.
Actually, if there was a Lego show bag, that would be at the top. I don't like generally any of the other plastic bags.
The roller coasters?
Yes, I do roller coasters and I squeal.
Minister, can I just get your reaction to Donald Trump's 100% pharmaceuticals tariff finalised overnight? How much of an impact will that have on Australian medicines?
Yeah, well, of course, we've had a long relationship with the US, a very important trading partner, and we are seeing changes in those global relationships, which of course mean we are in a more uncertain world. That is one of the reasons why this government has such a strong commitment to ensuring that we are making things in Western Australia, diversifying our economy so that we can meet some of the challenges of that global uncertainty. And look, in relation to that issue in particular, of course, we'll work really closely with the federal government on that to make sure that West Australians are getting access to the care that they need.
I mean, is it fair to note, I suppose, that really medicines and healthcare shouldn't be subject to a trade war?
Look, we'll obviously be watching that situation closely. We'll work very closely with the federal government on it. And of course, our priority will be making sure people in West Australia get access to what they need, get access to the healthcare that they need, and that will include pharmaceuticals as well.
A few days left in September, 30 days in September, and yet we're on track to beat the rounding record again. Is that surprising?
Well, we've seen a really difficult winter period, and of course we've had very high levels of flu presentations in our hospitals over this winter. We are still seeing large numbers of Western Australians in our public hospitals medically cleared for discharge but not able to get the aged care support that they need, either those home care packages or aged care places. And this week that number of West Australians is still over 300 people in hospitals. So we've seen that rapidly increase over the last few weeks, along with the challenges that have come from one of the worst flu seasons we've had in some time. So it is a very challenging environment, and of course we're disappointed to see those ramping figures remain high, but we are making sure that we're doing the planning, the preparation as we go into 2026.
3 months in a row over 7,000 hours is pretty bad.
Yeah, we're really disappointed in those figures. There's particular things that are influencing that. It's the thing that's being experienced in other states right around Australia, and of course we want to do better.
Is there any guarantee we can do better by next year, next winter?
Well, we're doing a lot of work to evaluate this year and prepare and plan for the coming winter in 2026. So, of course, we'll be looking at all the things that we can do that'll help make a difference as we go into next winter.
A new national report has found a concerning decline in children's uptake of vaccines? What do you think about that?
Well, vaccinations are incredibly important for children, but for adults as well. It's been one of the important things for meeting the challenges of this flu season, this winter season. But of course, we need to make sure that young people and children in particular are receiving the vaccinations that they need, because that protects themselves, but it also helps to protect the community. So again, this is something that we'll be particularly focusing on in the context of planning for winter in 2026, but it remains an ongoing issue of concern to make sure that we are vaccinating children and young people, but adults as well, where they can be protected.
Are you saying an issue tackling misinformation about vaccines?
Well, I think there's a few things that are impacting on people's decisions around vaccination. I think we have seen coming out of COVID a bit of fatigue, and of course we are always concerned to make sure that people have got accurate, reliable, timely information about vaccinations and how they can protect themselves and protect their families as well. So I think it's really important that people get that accurate information. I would just urge anyone to speak to their GP. That is the best, reliable, accurate source of information about vaccinations for themselves or their family members.
Just on dental accessibility and affordability, do you support dental on Medicare?
Well, the provision of dental services is really important to the community, and being here today just reinforces our government's commitment about making sure that we are providing dental services in a way that makes it accessible for so many West Australians. The issue about including dental in Medicare is really an issue for the federal government. We'll continue to look at all the things that we can do to make sure that vulnerable West Australians are getting access to dental
What about
services.
subsidies for people with disability? That's one of the huge barriers for access to dental.
Well, today we're opening this beautiful clinic. I think it's an important way to ensure that people who have special needs are getting access to appropriate services. We look at a range of ways that we can deliver dental services into the community, bearing in mind that we're providing those services to the most vulnerable in Western Australia.
Last question.
Do you squeal on roller coasters as well?
So I have two sons who are now adults, and so I've done my fair share of scary rides at the Royal Show. I have to confess I like the Ferris wheel, but yeah, I don't scream, but I certainly have to hold my breath a bit. Yeah.
They've got a new ride this year, the Lumitrix, that they're unveiling today. Do you think you'd have the answer to that one? Or?
Yeah, I don't think I'll be going on that, to be honest, but I do love the Ferris wheel and I love a Cadbury show bag, I have to confess, so I'll have a good time there for sure.
Thanks
very much.
everyone. The ministers will open